Excuse me. Are you comedian Rachelle, the one that has a joke about dirty accounting?
Yeah.
Do you want to explode it?
Yeah. Why
Let's
not?
go.
Let's go.
When people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I'm an accountant, and then I wink, because I want them to think I do something more mysterious than what I actually do for a living, which is accounting. What's up? Yeah, you know what's good. I knew I wanted to be an accountant since I was a little girl, a baby lesbian, if you will. I mean, the first time I ever saw a boob was on my calculator. Yeah, I know what you were doing on your calculator. Boobies rule. I am a freak. They do. Boobies are gay. I am a freak in the sheets. Those Excel sheets. Where are my Excel sweeties at? Oh my God, are you all accountants? Wow. This is great. This will be relatable. All right. Hell yeah. My favorite formula is the VLOOKUP. Watch out, lady. That is a lesbian Excel joke. You're welcome. So stupid. I am a licensed CPA though. I am licensed to lick that clit, pussy, and ass. I'm sorry, that is the dumbest joke I've ever written. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm actually not a CPA. I got fired. Who would have thought? But I will tax that ass. I will do an audit for you later if you want. Doing some new drugs. Winning my life. Doing some new drugs. I'm on Accutane. What's up? I'm dry as hell right now. It's great. I am just flaking. I'm like a walking human snow globe. I'm this close to having to aquaphor my butthole. Have you ever aquaphored your butthole? Count your blessings. For those of you who do not know, Accutane is used to treat severe acne. And you're not allowed to get pregnant on it. Otherwise, your baby might come out with a cone head, two heads, or as the Antichrist. It's on the box. But I will tell you what. As a lesbian who's never been with a guy, it is so fun to take a pregnancy test every single month. But the ex-Catholic in me gets really nervous every time I do it, though. Because, what if I'm the one? What if it's me this time, I would love it if the next coming of Christ came into a lesbian couple. Oh, yeah. My parents would be pissed. But Jesus would have to come back as a carpenter, though, again, because my girlfriend and I don't know how to build shit. We do have an extra pair of Birkenstocks, though.
Freaking stoked. Yeah, let's
You ready?
do it.
All right.
Beautiful.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bjorn RG, and this is the Joke Exploder. I have the hilarious Rachelle Cochran on deck on the mic. Whatever. Oh, man.
I am very happy to be here, Bjorn. Thanks for having me.
I'm leaving that in. I'm changing nothing. Oh, man. So I'm so stoked to have you. I wore this very bright shirt.
Hell yeah. It's very rare that I'm upstage when it comes to apparel. But
And I was wearing a fanny pack, but I was wearing it as a crossbody when you...
I love you so much. I love that shirt. I want that shirt. It's a great shirt.
Yeah, I believe I got it at Dick's.
Sporting goods.
I'm 100% that's where I got it. Dick's Sporting Goods.
I didn't know people bought clothes there. That's awesome.
It was in the swimsuit section. Obviously, there's probably matching shorts.
It's a keeper.
Yeah, it is. But oh my God, so stoked to have you. Who are you? Where are you from? What's going
My
on?
name is Rachelle Cochran. I'm a comedian here in Portland, Oregon. Been doing comedy for a very, very long time in this city. I started in Eugene.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Started in Eugene when
How
I was
was-
going to school.
How was that?
Oh my God.
What's the Eugene scene?
You know, it
I have been writing a lot of poetry lately, so
about Eugene or
No.
just
I just have been rhyming a lot more.
Gotcha. Yeah, Eugene scene.
The Eugene scene.
It's funny you asked. So they got their first club in Eugene, the Green Room they called it, when I turned 21. So it was
Ooh.
like perfect timing for me because you couldn't go into these clubs until you were of age. So I loved it. I mean, I was awful. I would get shit faced before every single mic and would do somersaults on stage.
Yeah.
Awful crowd work.
Somersaults.
Oh my
Not
God.
you just skipped cartwheels.
No, I would do somersaults, reenactments of me like falling earlier in the week. I don't know. It was a time. It was a lot of learning. But I did do comedy Eugene for like a year, and then I moved to Portland in 2012 and was in public accounting and was not getting up on stage as much as I would like, probably once a month for a
Okay.
few years, just because you don't have a life when you're a public accountant.
You don't.
You don't. No.
Well, that actually like dovetails very nicely into the joke that
Nice
you
segue,
brought
right? Yeah.
for us today. Let's set up the joke. We'll start listening to it, and then we can just like pause it and
Let's do it.
and go through it. So, what's the setup on the joke? This is at Helium.
This is Helium. This I think the preliminary round, I'm not sure. One of Portland's funniest rounds. And I've been trying to talk more about my job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because accounting is the opposite of exciting, if you will. So I'm trying to like, how can I make accounting funny when it inherently is not funny? It is the most boring profession in the world. In fact, the world is running out of accountants.
Really?
Yes. Nobody's getting degrees. They say in like 5 to 10 years, it's going to be very hard to find an accountant. Like my girlfriend works for an accounting firm, the same public accounting firm that I started at, and they are struggling to find people to work for them because so few people are like getting degrees in this field anymore because nobody wants to do it because it's awful. So I'm talking about my job and just like I guess making fun of it, you know, more or less. And I've had a lot of time coming up with these jokes. It's actually been kind of these jokes have been easier for me to write for whatever. It's a lot of wordplay, as you'll see.
I love it.
Which is like my thing, that and puns. You can ask anyone in the scene.
I love
But
it.
yeah, let's go.
All right, let's get it started.
When people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I'm an accountant, and then I wink. Because I want them to think I do something more mysterious than what I actually do for a living, which is accounting. What's up?
Yeah, so that pretty much
Yeah.
speaks for itself. You know, like what was that trend on TikTok where people were like, "I'm an accountant," and they were actually a stripper or whatever.
Wait.
Or no. This is the trend on TikTok was when people ask you what you do for a living.
Yeah.
You say you're an accountant so that they stop asking you about your job.
See, that's been my move because my
Yeah.
mistake is I have a really interesting job
Mm.
and I hate it.
Just
Like
say-
if I'm on an
just say you're an
airplane,
accountant.
I don't want to talk about it. Like people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I gotta go. It's so boring. Like because I don't want to be like, big
Yeah.
men's undies. That's mostly what I do.
Big men's undies.
And then inevitably I have some guy showing me their underwear, and I'm just like, look, it's like ripped, and it's like, no.
Do you really? You
I've had
have
so many-
strangers
I've had
show
strangers
you their underwear.
Take their pants down. This is not really it's an unofficial plug just because it is my job and I own the company, but bearskin underwear, and they will be like, "Oh, does it get holes like this?" I'm like, what are you doing, sir? Put your pants back on. I was at like a fair
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
I don't remember how it happened. Oh yeah, I was like at a fair and someone was like, "Hey," or like people will just like pants themselves in front of me to show that
You
they're
know, if it
wearing-
was to happen anywhere, it would
product.
be at a fair.
yeah, yeah.
The Puyallup
Like
County
in
Fair.
line for the pronto pups. Like,
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, it was at the Minnesota State Fair too. So like I was not
Solid.
effing around on it. But yeah, I actually do. So for some time, it depends on how talkative I am in a situation where I'm just like, oh, this is about to get really interesting and very Bjorn talking heavy. How much do I feel like telling people? I've gotten better about just being like, yeah, I have a clothing brand, and if they want to hear more, they'll dig, and then we can go there. But sometimes I'm like, I've said accounting.
Have you really? You
Yeah,
said
I've said accounting.
See?
I know my way around a
Everyone
spreadsheet
does it.
or QuickBooks, kinda. I'm decent at QuickBooks, but I'm real good at Googling where things are to be. I'm just the thing that sucks though about like putting transactions into the right categories is sometimes like it's a very hard to Google thing because it's like it'll be like costs in QuickBooks or whatever, and then it's like giving me like the breakdown of how much the program QuickBooks costs or whatever, and I'm like no, where do I put the expense that I'm paying QuickBooks the program in my QuickBooks? Where does that go? Is it an accounting cost or is it a software cost?
You know, I think that's a great question. I think it goes under software if I remember correctly.
Right.
But yes, good.
But then is that is it software advertising or is it it's not software advertising because I use software? We're going down the rails.
Yeah, we're getting.
I'm making you work on your time off. I actually just brought you on here to ask you a couple things about QuickBooks.
Just actually brought you on here for some tax advice, actually. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, I hope most people get the reference. Like, it's it is kind of like pop culturally, where like people do say accountant to like prevent from getting further into what they actually do. And like, I don't know. I heard that like exotic dancers used to say this a lot so they don't get, have to disclose what they do if they don't want to disclose it. So it's kind of what I'm going for. And then sometimes after this joke, I'll be like, yeah, do I give off that accountant vibe? And every single time the person in the front row says yes. And I just don't, I don't really, I guess I see it here.
I mean, you did lean into, there's pleats on your pants.
I do got,
We're just going to start from the pleats up.
Touche. You're right.
The crew neck is tucked in, presumably, or just you lifted your arms up and it like wrote itself up.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I really dug myself a hole here. Yeah.
Is that a puka shell necklace?
You know what? It's actually pearls, but I do own a pair of puka shells.
Well, puka shells would throw me off because no accountant's wearing puka. But pearls.
That's what I'm
real
gonna
pearls.
do. That's what I'm gonna do.
And then the glasses. I think it's in this situation. I think it's the glasses.
The glasses seal the deal.
Because I should have worn mine that are like that. I turn into shop teacher for sure. Like I go full on, like Ron Swanson shop teacher.
Like woodworking shop teacher.
Yeah. Like I know my way around a table saw. Like one thumb Bjorn.
Hey, want to check out this new wood I got? It's fine.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, it's this is what kicks off my accounting bit, and
do people ever laugh like too loud? Where it's like okay.
Yes. One time a crowd did laugh too hard, and I called them out on it playfully. But sometimes, this joke kind of gets a good laugh. Like tonight I got a good laugh because the crowd it's helium. It's funniest. You always have a good crowd, but sometimes I get like it's a light chuckle after this joke, which I want it to hit harder. And so I've noticed that if I take more pauses and really like
sit in it
okay. Almost I really like try to misdirect them with my pause, and then I say what I actually am, an accountant, and that seems to make it pop bigger, like the tension with the pause. But
I love a 1-to-1 or an A to A joke. It's like my favorite. It's so easy.
Yeah.
But it's like one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
And this one's brilliant. It's a 1-to-1 or it's an A to A or whatever, as opposed to like A to C or whatever. It's the same punchline as the setup or like the you're breaking it. I love when you can get one of those work. When one of those flops, you just look like they're like, what are you? You're so weird. Like, what are you saying? it can either be weird or the best.
Yeah.
This one's brilliant. I love it.
Wow, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll keep going.
Yeah, you know what's good. Uh-huh. I knew I wanted to be an accountant since I was a little girl, a baby lesbian, if you will. I mean, the first time I ever saw a boob was on my calculator.
Okay.
So good.
I'm really, really proud of this joke. It's so simple, and I'll tell you exactly how it came to be. I
Yes.
was with sometimes I meet up with Delaney Malone, shout out Delaney Malone, and Ash Allen to do some writing, shout out Ash Allen. And we were talking about these jokes and about how to make some these accounting jokes funnier, like pitching different ideas. And then Ash was just like, maybe you could do something with writing boob on a calculator.
Yes.
That's all she said. And I was like, you know what? Yes, there's
That's so
definitely something there. And so I just basically, I definitely did not want to be an accountant when I was a child. I still don't want to be an accountant, but it's a nice tee up to this joke, like
Yeah.
a baby lesbian loves boobies. So of course I'm gonna write boob on my calculator all the time.
Do you think people, like young people now, do that on the calculator app on their phone?
Wow.
Because I feel like that would be the funniest thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
I'm actually sad that I've never done it on my phone calculator yet.
Oh wait, but is the three's right? You could still do it. Okay, I was like, wait, is it
I
like
actually don't know now. And you know what makes me sad is do people even still use calculators in school?
I don't know.
I don't even know. I know it's like most of it's on a freaking Chrome notebook now. So I'm kind of worried about is this joke really going to be relevant in 20 years? I don't know. I like it a lot.
There's no more accountants. They won't be.
Yeah.
They will be like, a what? QuickBooks GPT? You mean?
Oh my God, for real though.
Oh
That's right around the corner.
Quick GPT?
Quick GPT. But yeah, this one's kind of a slow burn too.
That's great.
Yeah,
It takes a second.
It does take a second, and so I just sit there and I wait for it, and they usually come rolling in. But yeah, I really, really like this joke. It's very fun for me to say. It's a newer joke.
So how did you figure out the timing of how long to wait?
That's a great question. At least a few seconds. You'll hear usually a couple people in the beginning will get it, and then you'll just hear the trickle grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just patient. I just let it wait. It's different. Some audiences, I've gotten a lot from this joke almost every single time. It hasn't been as hard as this, obviously, but I'm 9 out of 10 times confident that this joke will hit because it's so silly, and everybody has written boob on their calculator. Yeah. We all did it. It was so funny, It
was the greatest joke.
It was the greatest joke of 6th grade, man. Yeah.
The best part of math class.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes I'm like, I know what you did in your calculator. I want to hear someone laugh really hard,
Yeah.
And give them a hard time. But yeah, it's also nostalgic. It reminds people of their youth. It's a really fun joke. I really like this joke. It's one of my favorite right now.
I love this, and because I love how I love your style, and I love that you go for puns, relentlessly. I always go this whenever I try to give a compliment. It always sounds like I'm low key just giving a backhanded compliment. I love that you commit to them, and it's fun and playful, and your style is always between your dress and your appearance as well as your comedy style is very just come on, we're just having fun. Let's have a good time. Let's not take anything too seriously.
Yes,
and I love that.
Thank you. That is what I'm going for. That is kind of what I want my persona, my voice to be. Just a silly freaking lesbian next door, with her stupid pleated pants. And her Harry Potter haircut.
I didn't notice the pleated pants until we were talking about your appearance. I was like, oh, heck yeah. That has a
Old Navy, baby.
That has a crease pressed into it.
Old Navy. And you know what's crazy? I haven't ironed those once, and it's the 8th time I've worn them. I think it's a permanent pleat.
Yeah. No, do you know about that?
Now I do, I guess.
You could go to the the dry cleaners will put them in there for you. It's a little bead of
so it never goes away.
It's this tape that they put on the inside, and then they fold it in half, and then they iron it, and then that's how you get the. Can't believe It's weird that I know that, but
It is weird
I
that
was-
you know that.
I was getting some pants hemmed because I'm a weird size
I
that does
get-
not.
Hey,
they don't
I get
sell
everything
in the
hemmed. I'm a
store.
short size, so I get
Okay.
everything hemmed. Yeah.
So I was getting things hemmed, and I was just kind of like doing an a la carte situation, and I was like, "What is this?" And my husband was like, "That's for pleated." I was like, "Permanent pleats or like whatever it's called." And then I was fascinated. I was like, "Who is doing that?" Well, we're putting these on my shorts. Let's put these. Let's put this on my swimsuit.
It gives it a nice clean up look. You
know what they need to do? Put those on towels so that I know where to fold them because my towel
100%.
folding is not.
Oh, I don't even get me started. I'm so bad.
I
at
lose my gay
folding.
card every time on a towel fold. It's like
Me too.
you can tell Bjorn rolled these things up. Like
I am the worst folder in the world sometimes. So Nikolai, my partner, usually folds the laundry, but when I do,
you know,
she refolds it.
you can tell. Oh my god.
Because it's so bad. But I try. I don't know. It's folding is trickier than it looks. I need to take
No,
a.
it's not planned incompetence or whatever that's called, right?
Oh,
Like,
weaponized incompetence.
there it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I mean,
Where you do it bad on purpose so you don't have to do it anymore. Like, oops.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I fold the towels like this.
She's very patient. She's great.
Okay, we'll get back into it. This is fun.
Yeah, I know what you were doing on your calculator.
Yes.
Boobies rule. I am a freak. They do. Boobies are great. I am a freak in the sheets. Those Excel sheets. Where are my Excel sweeties at? Oh my God, are you all?
Just real quick.
Yeah.
I've never had so many people woo.
Like it's usually like crickets.
It's like 2 people. Yeah. But the whole crowd was like, yes, we use Excel. I was like, oh my God, this has never happened. So it was
It
great.
is a great program.
It
It's
is.
like one of the only I was in business school and I had to take all these like finance courses
Mm-hmm.
and I had to take this pretty intense Excel spreadsheet course.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
the funny thing is like in retrospect, I literally just it was like the Excel workbook from Microsoft and we just did all of the book.
Amazing.
And so I paid thousands of dollars to and also probably too much for the book to just go to a computer lab and just work through a workbook and then take tests at the end that were
Wow.
like in the book pretty much. But you know what it taught me? That's how I learned how to use other programs. Like,
Hell
as I
yes.
just be like, I don't know how to use this. I'm
It's
just going to buy a
lifelong
book.
knowledge,
Yeah.
baby. Like, Excel will be here forever.
But I still use Excel. Well, it's Google Sheets now, but it's the
Yeah.
same. Actually, every once in a while, I can't figure something out in Google Sheets, and I'll just I'll export it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
and
I
open
cannot-
it up in
I
Excel,
cannot stand
do
Google
it,
Sheets.
because it's
Yeah.
like there's a couple of things that are
Yeah.
slightly different, but if you export it and then import it back into we are getting so far.
Yeah,
into the
anyways,
weeds.
yeah.
I love this. We're gonna go back into the sheets. I am also a freak in the sheets.
Hell yeah.
Accountants? Wow. This is great. This will be relatable. All right. Hell yeah. My favorite formula is the VLOOKUP. Watch out, lady.
What? That's so good. Enter.
So dumb.
What
This
is the
joke is
VLOOKUP?
Okay, so VLOOKUP, basically you are like comparing 2 sorts of data to each other. Like, let's just say,
Okay.
yeah, for me, I use VLOOKUP in my job every day. And for instance, like if I wanted to see like what invoice was managed by what CSM or salesperson, I can like look at one table and compare the invoice number to this table, but I wanted to search for this column, like who's it's basically comparing 2 sets of data that helps you find what you want. It's a awful way to explain it.
I love that you did.
Yeah. But
do you also back to the joke? Do you look up, like actually look up when you do the joke?
look
when
up.
you do this?
Oh, that's a good idea. No, I don't look up. I just go like this, and then I like do a stupid thing with my legs, gets the people going. But I should look up.
You're gonna just like look up.
Yes, I should. That's a good idea. Yeah,
It's kind of creepy, but
yeah, you know,
not a look up.
I might try it tonight. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. And how did I? So basically, this joke. What I do with my joke writing when I feel stumped is, I basically write like 50 plus words. So ChatGPT makes this easy now. I say, write 50 words associated with Excel. And so it'll show me all the formulas that I just don't want to try to remember on my own.
Yeah.
And so I was like, VLOOKUP. How can I compare this to being a lesbian? Well, I got the V right there.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, how stupid if I just say this is like code for fucking cunnilingus or something, you know?
Yeah.
So it was as simple as that. Like VLOOKUP is my favorite formula, and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
It's so silly, but that's helped me a lot to just think of jokes quickly like that. Is you know, silly and
so you looked
simple
up,
as it is.
So you looked up like just like a whole bunch of
a bunch of words
formulas?
associated with Excel. Yeah, different Excel formulas.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
yeah. And then
I always do that with just the dome. I try to just be like, all right, let's map out.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot when it comes to writing my jokes. Yeah.
How else do
for
you
like
use
word
it?
association? Sometimes I'll write I'll write out the joke, and then I'll write the whole joke, the setup and the punchline. I'll be like, hey, can you give me 10 other ways to punch up this punchline, or can you make this joke funnier? And it'll give me like 20 different ways to make it funnier. It's usually all awful, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting perspective, and I'll work on it, and
then kind of like hit it from that angle.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll make me think of things I never thought of before, because it has the whole internet at its disposal.
Yeah.
So I use it a lot with like word association, and then comparing to and like things, and I'll be like, hey, can you help me come up with 20 different metaphors when comparing non-alcoholic beer to sofas, and it'll do it.
Oh wow.
It's really fun. Obviously what comes out isn't great, but it's a good starting point if you're feeling stumped or like not motivated at all.
Here I'm just like getting mad about ads on the free Thesaurus app.
Thesaurus is great.
I use a thesaurus a lot.
Thesaurus is awesome.
I remember when I found out about thesauruses, and I was like, never gonna use this ever in my life.
Dude.
I am on there all the time.
Oh yeah, we use a thesaurus way more than a dictionary.
I use it a lot. Well, I have to write product descriptions and stuff like that, and so I'll just kind of like.
You don't have ChatGPT help you with that?
Okay. But I want my personal voice.
I totally get that.
And I really get a lot out of it.
Yep. And
it's poetry. It's like stupid poetry that I do, and we've tried doing the ChatGPT thing, but it just sounded so corporate-y and just like, and it didn't have like that. I don't know, that like umami
for sure.
Bjorn just like being whatever, like some weird reference to a 80s song or something, you know.
Yeah.
That's like in there, that's underlying in there, or like there's no reference. It's not great at references, and I don't know. I'm also a little anti.
No, I totally get it. Absolutely.
I tried using several different tools, and every single time I'm just like, this is the biggest waste of my time. And I'm just going to go back to the way that I was doing it instead of this way. The only thing that I've used it for that very successfully is because I'll shoot photos, and if I need to extend the backdrop so that it fits a different frame, like if I just need like that to just continue, that's really difficult to do because it's like a shaded, there's like flashes, and it's not it looks like one solid color, but it's like it's not.
Fascinating.
I have used it for that, or like removing things. Sometimes it's pretty good at that.
See, I don't ever use it for that. I guess I don't know how to use it for that.
In Photoshop.
In Photoshop? Gotcha. Yeah, I use Canva for stuff like that.
Dude, Canva is a really good program. I just don't want to pay for it. And I pay for the other one, and I know it
for sure.
So like it's that anyway.
Absolutely. No, and I totally get people not wanting to use ChatGPT to write jokes. Like the jokes ChatGPT puts out are going to be awful. You're basically using it to help construct the joke. You know, it's making you think of things you wouldn't think about before. But AI, actually, I don't know. Did you ever listen? I was going to say AI will never be able to write comedy as good as humans, but did you ever listen to the AI rendition of George Carlin?
No.
Supposedly, this AI wrote all original jokes in the voice of George Carlin. It's a special on YouTube. A special. You just listen to the voice. The voice sounds exactly like him, and the jokes and the subject matter. It was so like Carlin and actually quite funny. I found myself laughing.
Oh, wow.
I got kind of scared that I couldn't really differentiate that it wasn't him. I don't know if it's
wild.
fake. I'll send it to you. I listened to it months ago, but it really threw me for a trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's freaking wild.
All right. We'll keep rolling.
That is a lesbian Excel joke. You're welcome. So stupid.
Have you done anything about excelling as a lesbian?
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's like the poetry in me. That's going.
I need
you
to
just
write
flip
that down.
it.
Excelling as a lesbian.
This is how I excel as a lesbian.
That's hilarious. I'm writing this down right now. Thank you.
I'm just turning it into.
I didn't know you were so into poetry. It's very sweet. I love poetry.
It was a weird.
But
I can't believe I'm like telling people about it.
Oh my God, don't. I hate when people shit on poetry or poetry slams. Like, poetry is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to feel, and nothing makes me feel harder than like stand-up comedy or poetry.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love art, because it makes you feel, I just want to put out stuff that makes people feel, and poetry does just that. We can like it's so crazy how you can create a feeling with just your words,
Right.
And that's what poetry does, and it's beautiful, and it's been here since the dawn of time, and it will be here forever, and nobody should shit on poetry, and don't you be ashamed that you're into it or that you write it. I also write poetry. I haven't told anyone my account, so
you have like a secret.
I do have a secret Instagram account.
Please tell me after the show.
I will. It's awful, but I have 12 followers, and I'm proud of it.
Ooh.
But I love it. I love writing it. I love, sometimes if I'm like brushing my teeth, I'll watch button poetry. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
I'm not.
Oh, it's so good. It's just like slam poetry
Okay.
account, and some of the best poets are on there, and they do
I had like this random experience where I was listening. There's like this podcast that I listened to, and they had like a poet on. It was like a business podcast, and they were like, yeah, everyone should write some poetry every once in a while. And he like gave this exercise, and I was just like, pause, and then was just like, whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, this is really fun. I'm weirdly good at this.
Will you send me the exercise? Send me that later too.
I'll send that to you. It's like this NQ is the, I don't know. Anyway,
NQ
is the guy. That's the guy's name.
Cool.
But and then anyway, that's how and I was like, oh, this is similar to comedy. Like, there's a lot of poetry elements to comedy, and I hate how comics. I'm like so sensitive to people and like what they say, and there's so many things that like someone said year one to me, or like read it in a comedy book, and I just have taken so long to shed it, or like some weird comment like or like whatever, like never do this thing
for sure,
and then I've never done it, and then I'm like, wait, what? Where's that? Is that that idiot that doesn't probably do comedy anymore?
Yeah,
like
100%.
said it to
They're
me.
not around anymore.
But
that stuff does stick with you. And
do you have anything? Like, what's an example for you?
God, yeah. Let's get vulnerable. Let's get to it. God, when it comes to comedy, I mean, honestly, I didn't have very many I was really lucky. I didn't have very many mean people around me or tell me not to do things.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, oh, you know what? Debbie Wooten told me not to drink so much. Debbie Wooten told me not to drink so much. She was like, you need to take this as a job, okay? You need to treat it like a job, and you need to stop drinking before you go on stage. Did I stop? No. But I've stopped now. I'm done now.
Done.
But like that always stuck with me, how I wasn't treating comedy as a profession, when I do want to do this for a job one day, many days far away. But that really stuck with me. And then awful like crowd work that I've done and like learned from, and like bombing, I guess, is really humbling, and you learn a lot from that. But yeah,
I tried this game for a little while, just going to open mics and trying to take any rule that I would write down like when it would come to mind. I'd be like, all right, how can I break this rule? Like, it was like always like take the mic out of the stand and like move the stand behind you or whatever. And I just like, I tried doing, I was like, how can I make it work where like, I don't know. I mean, there's like leave it in the stand, and I did that a bunch where I like just like didn't use. I just used like my hands and I was just pushing on it, being weird. I did that, and then there was one where I just yeah, just like I do like doing that. I like putting it like between my legs and like wrapping a leg around it, and like using that and just like using both hands. That's how I would host Rumors. It's the best.
Wow, I wish I remembered that.
I would just lean into it and then I would just not be touching it.
That's incredible. That's very fun.
It was
that's
just like this little
original
thing that I was doing. I also did one time take it out of the stand and like wrap my leg around it and then use my leg to move it out of the way.
Oh my god, fancy.
So I guess I was still moving the stand. I wasn't fully breaking the rule, but I was just
in your own special way.
Just doing just put my own flair on it. That was the first one that came to mind. All right, we'll keep going.
I am a licensed CPA though. I am licensed to lick that clit, pussy, and ass.
I forgot about that punchline.
The joke is so dumb. Oh my god. I don't even know why. I only say it because I do get a laugh, but like it's just like such low hanging fruit, this joke, and it's simple. You know, a CPA, what stands for CPA? I can even tell you some of the other things.
Ooh, what were some other renditions?
Certified public angel was another one.
Okay.
So stupid. A lot of angel stuff. God, maybe
no anal stuff.
I didn't have any anal stuff.
Certified
Clit, pussy, ass. Certified public angel of your dreams was the one that I said a lot. Or I guess maybe that's the only one I experimented with. And I was like, you know, let's get dirty. Let's do just clit, pussy, and ass. Certified public angel of your dreams. Yeah, just so stupid. And I wasn't getting a laugh from that at all. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hit him with something hard.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. See how they take it. And I have gotten a laugh from that almost every single time. And I feel like, not ashamed, but just like, oh, God, Rachelle, you really stooped so low for this joke. Like,
I hate when you work really hard on a joke and then like you're like, oh, I know what the punchline is.
Yeah.
It's this.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, all right, I got to do this forever.
Yeah.
I've found, I'm curious about you on this. Like recently I've been posting more of my stand up and going through my stand up. And I personally, I don't know if it's like the algorithm that's like, I don't know, blocking my account when I post something too dirty. But personally, I feel more comfortable posting things that are a little cleaner. And I think that's like kind of more what I want to do comedy wise, but like my best jokes are all like super dirty.
I am right there with you. I also want to be more clean in my jokes because it's just more opportunities, right? And I feel like you have to not necessarily work harder, but be more clever in finding the joke or finding the punchline. Alex Falcone gave me a good tip. He was like, don't ever like censor your writing. Like write the joke dirty, write however you write it originally, and then try to dial it back. Then try to scrub it clean. I have had a hard time scrubbing
doing that second part.
Yeah, doing that second part. Yeah. Trying to make it cleaner. Like this one here, like clip pussy ass. Like I have to find a whole new acronym for it, you know? New. So I just and I probably could find something as funny maybe with cleaner words. I haven't worked on that yet because this is getting the reception that I like it to. So I don't. Yeah. But that is the goal though, is to like work clean and do as many rooms as you can.
Yeah. I'm curious if this is true for you too, because like for me, I feel like I like it more when I get a laugh on a clean joke.
Yes.
Like I actually feel better about that, because like when it's dirty, I kind of feel like the way you did with this, where you're just like, all right, here's my like biggest shock
it's
line.
like low hanging fruit, like you're laughing because it's shocking. I feel the exact same way. That I do feel like I work harder on my clean jokes, so when they go well, there's more of like a sense of pride. Like, I worked really hard to not make this crude, and I wanted everyone in the room to enjoy it. You know.
What do you think? What's the key to that? Do you have any ideas on that?
How to make a joke clean? How to write clean?
How to write a clean joke? Like what does it? I guess I'll tell you what mine is.
Yeah, go.
And let me know if it resonates with you. So like my theory on this is it needs 2 or 3 or maybe 4 elements.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to be a turn, a rhyme, and like maybe a reference. Like it needs like an alliteration. It needs like layers. It needs to be like a whole sandwich.
Yes.
And when it's dirty, it kind of can play without all of that. It's just going to get it there. But if it's clean, it needs to be like, there needs to be lettuce, tomato, and mayo.
You think a clean joke needs all of those elements, or at least just 1 or 2 of those elements?
I think it needs like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
That's just like my theory.
Yeah, I agree.
Because otherwise it's just cute.
Yeah.
It needs to be a turn, a reference, and like a rhyme or alliteration, or like it needs a few. That's my theory. Like,
yeah, I agree. I found, yes, joke structure helps enormously when trying to write clean, because like you said, a misdirection, a turn is a quick way to get a laugh or a surprise, but that usually comes with the that can also happen with the crude stuff. Shock, humor, surprise. But yeah, and like references or comparing and contrasting can get a good laugh. Funny metaphors, like, I mean, Taylor Tomlinson, like, I feel like most of her stuff is pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah.
And if it's dirty, she's like comparing something dirty to something clean. Like, she's very like, she tiptoes on like being dirty every so often, but like the way she does a lot of metaphors and a lot of similes and a lot of like, this is like this, and it's so funny. I saw her when she came through to Helium a few weeks ago, and I, again, just blown away and so annoyed. She's 30 years old. She's like, she's the GOAT. I think she's one of the best comedians of our time. Yeah. Truly. Yeah. She knows how to write a joke, and her crowd work, nobody really talks about it, but she's so good at crowd work.
Really?
But she doesn't have to be good at crowd work because she's so good at freaking telling jokes.
Yeah, regular.
Oh my gosh, she did some crowd work at the show, and I was just like blown away. And I've watched some of her older clips of crowd work, and she's so good. She's such an expert in her craft, but she's shown me that you can be clean, or you don't have to go down that route. You just have to be really, really clever at writing jokes. So.
We landed the plane on that one.
I mean, I started writing about it.
I feel like we might be in the river, though.
We are, and now we're sinking to the Mariana Trench. I wrote about accounting because I thought it could help me write clean, and clearly,
right. That's happened to me so many times, and then I'll just be sitting there. I had this fun exercise that I would do, because we used to do the Bangers intro for like the first year. I would like write or come up with like we would like do our 2 takes on a certain thing, and when I would try to go clean, it would rarely land, and I just would do this stupid thing where I was just like, take whatever the suggestion was and find a way to make it dirty, and it was always funny, and it like kind of pissed me off that it was just like, okay, just like story about not wanting to go skydiving. Yeah. Let's make that dirty, and then it's hilarious. When I didn't make it dirty, it was stupid, and like, why are you talking about this?
Yeah. It
made me so mad.
The same thing happens for me too. Yeah, I think we just have to write the dirty, and then like try to figure out a way to tailor it to be clean. So I haven't figured out that part.
I think I have another theory in this. I think too, it has to do with audiences. Like if you play too many open mics, you have to just be like, you have to shock everyone, and like that's your audience every single time. And so like if you have like real audience, like at the park show that you guys did, like that's like a great like opportunity where like even just like dancing around dirty things, and like not actually that's my favorite thing to do is actually it's to be like, tell a whole joke about something but not use any dirty words in the whole thing, and it's like it's all this like weird math thing that you're doing in people's brains, that it's dirty there but not in actual, like if you were to look at the words, they're not. But Yeah, you
Totally.
play an audience like yours and at the park show, and you're just like, oh, like you don't have to go that far. You can just have a clever
Right.
observation
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Bowe.
Yeah.
Like whenever he does the park show, he crushes, and most of his stuff is just telling stories,
Mm-hmm.
like about his kids, and that's another way to not be dirty, I guess, is like a funny story, or observational humor.
Yeah.
But he has a funny joke about the post office and how expensive stamps are, and he's able to make it so funny. I mean, Jim Gaffigan, he's able to make stuff funny. Brian Regan is able to make.
Yeah.
He's a clean comedian. Have you seen him live yet?
Brian Regan?
Yeah, you
A
ever
long time ago.
I saw him live. It was like the first show I ever went to by myself, was to go see Brian Regan.
I also saw him. I used to live in Henderson, and he lives there, and I saw him at Target one time.
No way! I'm so jealous. Wow, I love.
Did not
him.
say hi. I did. I was like, oh, that's Brian Regan up there in line in front of me.
I love him so much, but a lot of his humor also comes from like the physicality of his jokes and like the act outs.
Oh, so that's another element.
Yeah.
That could be an element. You could do like a face or an act out.
I have there's this other joke. I'm more not talking about it tonight, but like I've been working on it a little bit more, and I've noticed that the longer pause I take and like just even like walking back while I tell this joke, the people are laughing more. Like I'm able to get more laughs from this joke just from this simple movement with my body. And I forget
how did you find that?
I was honestly, it was at a show a few weeks ago where I just like acted it out more. I was like, I'm really going to commit to this bit, and I'm just going to walk more and like get more broy with it. And like people loved it.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then it was a reverse joke. You might have even heard it. It was me talking about, I tell a lot of gay jokes, and during this one set, a man stood up and was like, "Oh my God, you're gay?"
Oh, I love
I
that.
walked back and then he walked out, and that's my coming out story. My dad still comes to my shows sometimes, but it's a little awkward. So even just like the walking back more, people like love that added movement to it. And I've learned that like even like the simplest movements, like with my shoulders, people get a kick out of it. I don't know, just like being playful and silly. And
I love those are my favorite kind of jokes. I've heard it called playground bits, where like there's like a part where you just kind of like do something, and it's very clown. It's very much clown.
Yes, absolutely.
Also another thing that people, especially comedians, hate on. But did you take that clown
I
course?
have taken many clowning classes from Ann Zander.
That like finding that line and then just like taking it a little bit further and like staying in things a little longer.
Yes.
I'm always
it's
encouraging.
all about heightening, right?
Yeah. I'm always, I feel like every time, because Todd Basil and I used to write together a lot, and every time we would write together, I would just be like, just do the premise for a really long time. And I don't know if I'm just like completely just like pushing my own narrative of like what I want Todd to be doing. But like he's got some jokes now. I'm not going to do them because they're his, but like where I just literally was just like, just say that over and over and over in 10 different ways. And he tried it while we were like across the table, and I was like falling out of my chair laughing. And then now it's like a bit that it's like, all it was I was like, just keep saying the premise over and over and over in different ways, more exaggerated, like get bigger, get smaller, get lefter, I don't know, righter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and just playing with all of those things, like just do it longer, like keep doing that. There's
Very
something
cool.
I rarely can find those in my jokes, and I'm like, oh, I want one so bad where I could just, because like you could play in that for so long,
absolutely,
and then you have the out of the punchline at the end.
I'm
just giving you sorry.
No, I love talking shop. I love this shit so much.
Like staying in things longer, or like a thing that I did to Todd one time that was so funny. I don't remember why, I just off a whim. Oh, we gave him we had like too many guest spots, so we couldn't do a spot as the host. And so Eliza was like, "Hey Todd, can you maybe not do a spot this week?" And I was like, No. Todd, can you do your hour in 60 seconds? And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Where he just like I was like, all right, your next, this is actually your first headliner. He's going to do his hour in 60 seconds. Give it over Tom Basil. And I just like ran off the stage, and he like runs out. And he did. And he like legitimately tried to go through his whole hour.
Oh my God.
60 seconds. And it was one of the funniest things.
That's incredible.
He even had like a crowd work portion of it where he asked a question. but didn't give time to like get an answer. It was so funny. Like I barely made it back on the stage without laughing because without still laughing. It's just so funny how if you take something and just like take like something small and make it bigger, or something big and make it really small.
Yes, absolutely.
That different perspective can really offer.
Absolutely. And then, God, I got some advice from Arlo recently. Like you said, just writing from different points of view when you have a joke. Like, write it from, your mom's point of view, or write it from, you're talking about a joke about your girlfriend. Write it from her point of view, or write it from the point of view if you're sad or you're angry, or change your feeling about
brilliant.
it. And that has really helped with writing too. Just changing how you feel about it, being able to like divorce your feelings from it, and finding a new. Did the lights just flicker?
Yes, they did.
Everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
I had my
Everything's
eyes.
on a protected thing. What the hell?
Do you want to double check and make sure it's
fine.
okay?
Yeah, the cameras. Everything's rolling.
Spooky, haunted. Is this place haunted? It's pretty old.
It's an old build. They used to make model. I mean, I don't know where we are. I don't like to say where we are.
They used to make model what?
I'll tell you later.
All right, great. Cool. On the edge of my seat.
Model B's. We'll say.
Perfect.
This building. I just gave it away, but whatever.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to like dig into some history before you break into my place.
Perfect.
Good on you.
Awesome.
You deserve to steal my microphone.
I was going to say, I don't remember signing a disclaimer.
I just try not to say where it is.
A waiver. Great. Perfect.
Oh my God. So, okay, we got a little off track there. What was it? Different point of view.
Different points of view. Like if you're feeling mad about it, write about it. If you're feeling sad or happy, or write it from a different person's point of view.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I totally want to write all my dog jokes from my dog's perspective.
Heck yes, exactly.
Like as a secondary.
Exactly.
We just rehash. I don't even have to write new jokes. I just
one exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's how you wring out every little drop from a premise, right?
Yeah.
More or less.
I love it. Okay, we really should go back.
Yeah, let's go.
That is the dumbest joke I've ever written. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm actually not a CPA. I got fired. Who would have thought? But I will tax that ass. I will do an audit for you later if you want.
Again, dumb tax, but people eat them up.
Doing some new drugs. Win my life. Doing some new drugs. I'm on Accutane. What's up? I'm dry as hell right now. It's great. I am just flaking. I'm like a walking human snow globe. I'm this close to having to aquaphor my butthole. Have you ever aquaphor your butthole? Count your blessings. For those of you who do not know.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's, I've been on this drug for 5 months now. It's awful, but I'm finally getting rid of my adult acne, and I decided to talk about it. And I've never had to, so the aquaphor my butthole, yeah, these jokes sometimes get a laugh, me describing like how dry I am. It's mostly gross. The aquaphor my butthole.
It's interesting because I usually think of something gross as usually moist.
Yeah.
I don't think of dry things as it's like
flaky. Like, oh my God.
Ew, these dry goods.
Ew, these dry goods. Gross.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It's just a weird association. I'm like, oh yeah, I always think of things like damp and squishy as gross, but dry is like scratchy.
I mean, dandruff is kind of gross. Dandruff and like sometimes I say I feel like I dries you up like human jerky. Just like different ways to compare myself to dry things. I used to say I don't want to be a greasy hot dog anymore, but that wasn't really getting a laugh.
I want to be a raisin hot dog.
Oh, that's good. I like that a lot. Yeah. So a good friend of mine gave me the aquaphor my butthole line because when she was on Accutane, she did have to aquaphor her butthole because it was so dry and itchy. And I was like, do you mind if I say that on stage that I'm this close to having to do it? She's like, it's all yours, girl. So
I liked the little adjustment of the glasses and stuff where you're just like, like it's like a really fun little this bit. I don't know. Did you do that consciously, or is that
No,
just like it
actually,
happened?
no. That
And
no.
I love it. I love
Okay,
it. Keep it if
great.
you can, or don't, or whatever. Live your life.
The whole no, I don't even pay attention to what I do with my glasses. No, that's funny.
Yeah, there's like this moment right here. I'll just like bring it back where you did this like you look over them and then you bring them up very aggressively.
Count your blessings. For those of you who
No, you're like, and then you fix them.
just
Because you probably shook your face and they came down a little bit.
a little
I
bit.
love it.
See, little movements like that can add so much that we don't even think about. Subconsciously we do them, and like I want my comedy. I want you to miss like half the joke when you can't see it, if that makes sense. Like I don't want it to just be auditorily. I also want to be kind of like a spectacle. Like I want you to have to like see the whole thing to actually experience the whole extent of the joke.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Be as entertaining as you can, because it's kind of awkward just standing there. So I don't know. And some comedians like just standing or sitting. I feel like I have to move.
Me too. When I'm editing my clips,
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
Bjorn, just like, could you just not do that? Why do
Yeah.
you gotta like do a little act out over there and then like and then move over there and then jump on the? What are you doing?
Exactly.
There's none of that.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Like,
I
that was
feel
so
ya.
unnecessary.
I feel you on that.
You're just talking about the outfit you're wearing. You did not need to run across the stage.
Exactly.
You don't need to use the space on your riff about the camo sweatsuit you're wearing.
But I have to do a cartwheel.
But the
Yeah.
cartwheel is very important to the turn.
Yeah,
of that
it's
joke.
part of my setup. Okay, yeah, exactly.
What are some things that you've done to like add more physicality, or like have you just
Oh man,
been like set it as an intention?
yeah, I set it as
or-
an intention.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a lot of the last couple of years, every time I go to open mic, I'm like, okay, Rachelle, you're really gonna try to move a one-way shape. You're just gonna focus on your movement when you go up, and then you do it enough, and then when you do shows, it kind of just comes naturally. But I really want to focus on better act outs. I feel really uncomfortable doing those. I don't really do too much of them here in this set, but I think that is where like the cream of the crop is when it comes to stand up, is like a good act out after you do a punchline, and then you can do an act out afterwards. You're just like, you're making that wave just go longer and longer, and
There's this one Taylor Tomlinson joke. I don't even remember what joke it is, but it's like, to me, it's like the epitome of like a brilliant act out. It's a very subtle act out where she's talking about getting married, but like the way that she's like walking, it's like you can picture her holding flowers and like walking down, and it just adds so much flavor to the bit that she's doing. And I watched that part over and over and over, and it sticks out in my mind personally.
Oh my God.
Of a subtle, because sometimes I think a mistake is thinking like, oh, an act out has to be just like I was saying, I'm running all over the stage.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be just like a subtle like presence.
Yes.
And I was like, God, how did she figure that
Oh
out?
my God. We're going to completely fangirl Taylor Thomas in this whole episode, but like one of the act outs she did at her show a few weeks ago, it was kind of a dirtier joke. She was talking about a guy doing a doggy style on her, and for like a full 30 seconds, she would just like make faces to the crowd about her like enjoying it. No, the joke was about her thinking about other things while
That's funny.
while she was engaging in it, and just like all she did was make her face contort into these different funny ways, and that audience was howling just by her making these faces. Like you said, like it adds so much, and I think we forget about how powerful our body is. I mean, what do they say? 80% of communication is body language.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah, so I'm really trying to incorporate it more. But when you're up there, it's so hard to remember all of these things with the adrenaline pumping, and it's a lot, and it takes a long time to
I know
remember
that
it all.
for me, something that changed the game was watching myself reluctantly.
Yeah, it's really hard.
That's helpful. Where that helped me. Like that was a game changer for me. Where I was like, oh, okay, like stop doing like weird things. And
what was the weirdest thing you were doing?
And I still do it occasionally. There's like a mic like movement thing that I would do.
Interesting.
And like signaling punchlines too hard. Or like I don't know, like.
Yeah.
Like it's like you didn't even realize you're doing it.
Yeah.
Or you're like, here's how I was doing all of my punchlines.
And this is when you laugh.
Am I right?
Oh my god.
Like just like little. Like
Yeah.
I was just like moving the mic to the
Yep.
side. Like,
No.
why?
Yep. Me too. I would say, you know what I mean a lot. Am I right a lot? That would just be like my crutch or like my safety net. If a punchline didn't go well, I would kind of like, for some reason I thought it was gonna be my Hail Mary, and I would say that all the time. And I didn't realize that until I also started listening to
And
myself
watching,
and
like
watching
it's just
myself.
like it's so important. It's like that. But that's for physicality. Like I was trying to like book into like look at like read and study into better act outs, and I was like, oh no, I just need to like watch myself.
Yeah.
It's like it's skateboarding. It's like
Yeah.
how do you get better at sports? You watch tape. That's how you do it.
It's really hard.
It's a
but
physical
it is,
thing.
You have to do it. Yeah.
In clown classes. And
Have you taken a clown class?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was really, really fun. I took Anne's like.
She's great. She's
one.
phenomenal.
I was the only thing I wanted to take more notes because I was just like afterwards just like putting so much down.
Yeah.
Trying to remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I try to take one at least once every quarter because I just love it so much. And I think it helps, you know.
Yeah, even just like throwing. I almost feel like it's just like throwing it in the mix and just trusting. More and more, like this whole journey of even this like this podcast, like everything, everyone, a lot of people that I've talked to that it really just comes down to just like, I don't know, stop thinking about it too much, Bjorn, and just do it a bunch. That's it.
Mm-hmm,
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw.
Amen.
just do it. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Trust that like you'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
And I still am just like, no, I want to think about it a lot. I'm going to do a podcast all about thinking about it. So I have more to think about. It's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think I really
That's my
enjoyed
impression of my subconscious brain. Yeah, let's write ourselves into this more. All right.
I do like how much you think about things, though. A
Thank
lot
you.
of people don't.
I do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy thinking about stuff. I've just learned that. Like, I'm serious. I listen to like books, but I only
Hell
listen to like
yeah.
30 seconds of a book at a time. And then my brain, it's almost just like, it's this weird, it's my ADD. Like I'm so ADD and I miss being stuck in class, hearing a teacher say something that just sparks an idea. And I'm just like, to the B, to the C, to the E, to the E. And it's my brain is just like, everybody, like, and it just is like, we're firing, like it just like that. My brain just lights up with just like idea. It's like, let's start a podcast, like, you know, like,
And here we are.
and here I am. Like,
amazing.
I literally will just like, I just listen to like a little bit of a thing, and it'll like spark an idea, and then I just pause it and just think about it. Oh, love it.
Wow.
Cup of coffee.
It
wash
takes you a
down.
long time to finish a book, huh?
Oh my God, so long. So I like to listen because sometimes it's almost like the train is moving.
Yeah.
Where if I'm reading,
I don't.
I got my foot on the gas pedal
Yeah.
a little too much.
Yeah.
And
I
I need
don't-
it to be
I
like.
don't- God, I'm reading one book. I listen. It's all audiobooks for me now too. I don't know. Reading just.
I mean, I still tear through them like
yeah.
crazy, but
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Keep going.
Do not know, Accutane is used to treat severe acne, and you're not allowed to get pregnant on it. Otherwise, your baby might come out with a cone head, two heads, or as the Antichrist. It's on the box. But
That's so funny that I didn't get what it did say.
I want this joke to hit harder.
Yeah.
It's a triple. Obviously you have two of the same in the first two, and then you throw them off with the third, and nobody laughs at Antichrist, and I don't know how to make it funnier. I haven't really worked on it that hard. As you can tell, it got kind of a laugh, but
Have you tried anything else?
no, I haven't. I haven't
okay.
worked on it. So
Okay.
because it's like, and I need to because I want a bigger pop here. So people kind of laugh when I say it's right there on the box.
Mm-hmm.
But not really. So this is it's a fine joke. It's lame. I mean, Antichrist, it needs to be something else. I don't know what though. But your baby will come out with a cone head if you
Really?
get pregnant on Accutane. Severe birth defects.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like just like Dan Aykroyd.
Oh my God.
He's on the box. He's
I'm
the
writing,
spokesman.
I'm writing that down. Dan Aykroyd. Yes.
I don't know if people are gonna get that. I loved that movie. I rented it so many times and then dubbed it on my own VHS copy.
Yeah, I might try it. You never know.
Who
Because
knows?
Antichrist isn't working, so I need to figure out something that.
I think there's something with Conehead or Coneheads. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like I don't know.
Yeah, Conehead, two heads, or Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But I like that.
Maybe there's an alien on the box. I don't know. I'm just like helping you.
No,
punch
this
up the
is
joke. I like it.
no. I thank you because
I think Antichrist is funny.
I don't know.
You could say like who's an actress that played like an exorcist as a role. You can just say like she's on the box. I can't think of one, but
Yeah.
who was the original?
God, I don't know.
That's
I
where I
actually
need
don't
Paul.
know.
He just be like Bjorn. Come on, it's this girl. That
That's a good idea.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
just
the
like something
angle that I would
something
take it.
horrifying to give birth to is like, or yeah, I don't know. Nobody wants to give birth to the Antichrist, but
Yeah, or do they?
or do they? Yeah. Anyways,
I will tell you what. As a lesbian who's never been with a guy, it is so fun to take a pregnancy test every single month. But the ex-Catholic in me gets really nervous every time I do it, though. Because, what if I'm the one? What if it's me this time,
That's great. I love that.
I
love it.
really, really like this
So
joke.
you have to take that for the drug? They like make you do it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I go into the office, the doctor's office, dermatology office, every single month. As soon as I walk in, they give me a cup.
Yeah.
I pee in it. And in the beginning, I was making jokes like, let's see if Nicola got me pregnant this month. And somebody in my DMs, some person who follows me was like, oh, man, growing up religious, I also was worried about whether or not I was going to be pregnant if I missed my period. And I was like, oh, my God, I also had the same fear. And so I like thought about that and incorporated that into this joke because like when I promise you almost every single girl who's grown up religious has definitely thought they were the Virgin Mary at one point or another if their period was late or like
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So a lot of women really relate to this religious women relate to this joke because like I haven't had sex but my period's not here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the next one,
Yeah.
I've thought about it when I was little and anyways.
I love the word immaculate. I don't know why.
Immaculate conception.
I don't know why I like
Yes,
that word.
it's a great word. It's a great word.
Because it's also used as like perfect. I don't know. It says it perfect.
Yes, clean, free of sin.
Free of sin.
Yes.
Immaculate.
Immaculate. Yeah, I want to eventually expand on this joke and talk about how like Catholics don't condone IVF, even though I feel like Mary was the first person, was like the poster child of like, artificial insemination, more or less. I don't know. I'm going to work on that later, but.
Right, how much do we have? Okay.
We're
go.
almost done.
I would love it if the next coming of Christ came to a lesbian couple. Oh, yeah. My parents would be pissed. But Jesus would have to come back as a carpenter, though, again, because my girlfriend and I don't know how to build shit. We do have an extra pair of Birkenstocks, though.
Oh, I like the point. That's so fun. Oh, that's great.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Any other thoughts on this bit? Other like things that you tried or
God.
or responses? Have you ever had people like after the show talk to you about like this part or anything?
No, not so much. People online have talked about how they felt the same way growing up, whether or not they were like the Virgin Mary as well when they missed their period. But like a lot of people online have talked about how awful Accutane is. When I talk about on stage, I've had many comedians come up to me and be like, wow, I didn't even know they still give out that drug. I thought they canceled it, which is really reassuring to hear.
I thought that.
Yeah, I thought they got rid of that drug because it was so bad for you.
So
it's just
awful.
destroying my insides. But at least I'm beautiful on the outside, right? But yeah, a lot of people don't know what Accutane is, and so I had to be really clear in the setup before I get into the jokes, obviously, like what it is. I mean, even when I was trying, especially in the beginning, I wanted to make it funny. Like, I'm trying new drugs, you know, and sometimes I'll get like an applause, and then I'll be like, I'm on Accutane, I'm dry as hell, what's up? And like, I'll hear the women laugh, because a lot of women
like
are
cotton body.
Yeah, cotton body. That's funny. That's funny. Cotton body. You're just giving me gems, Bjorn. Cotton body.
Why not?
Yeah. So it's been a lot of people have reached out to me and said, yeah, I was on it. It's relatable. It's an awful drug. I'm sorry you're on it. So
I think that stuff's so important to talk about. Like when you hear where you're just like, I'm so alone, and then in this thing, and then and then people are like, wow, I really related to that. And you're like, okay, I'm glad I
absolutely
made that choice.
100%. And then when I tell accounting jokes, I usually have one person come up to me and be like, I'm an accountant, and that was really, really funny, and I've never heard anybody talk about accounting like this. Like, I had a show in Eugene about a week ago, and there was a girl who came up to me and she was like, I'm getting my major's in accounting, and I just want to say I really loved your jokes, and they really made me laugh, and I really understood them, and blah blah blah. So
that's awesome.
That felt good. That one little accountant, or future accountant, God rest her soul, found them entertaining.
All right, I have one last question, then we'll get out of here.
Let's do it.
What is your smallest accomplishment in comedy? So like, what's like some small little thing that's like a really big deal to you, and maybe isn't like an accolade, but is like a really cool special like moment maybe?
Yeah. So yeah, I used to host a show at the Cruise Room. Rest in peace, no longer with us. And I would book a lot of people on that show who never been booked on a showcase before. Like, I would take a chance on a lot of newbies. You know, I would give them like 5 minutes, and they would go first, and then I would have the stronger people behind them. But like, till this day, I still have like random comedians coming up to me and saying, you were the first person who ever put me on a show in the Cruise Room. It will always have a special place in my heart, and I just want to say thank you. Like, thanks for like giving me my first show experience, you know.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and that just feels really good.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a bad show. It was a good show. It wasn't just like
thank you.
You know, it was really cool of you to do that, because it was a cool show, and like, it wasn't like, I'm saying, it wasn't like a show where other shows that are a lot of people's first show, where it's like
yeah, I mean, you have to be
in some part of town that you didn't realize existed.
Yeah, I mean, curating a lineup is art, right? Like, you have to make sure you have, you know, the heavy hitters. It was a free show, so I didn't feel as bad having newbies like that on it. But like, if you're gonna have someone who's never done a show before, make sure that you also have stronger comedians who are more experienced, so that if this first person does, you know, suck ass, at least the rest of the show will be great. So
that's so cool.
Yeah. I feel good about that. Yeah, I miss hosting that show, but at the same time, so much work, so much drama. It's just so much. It's just a lot, and
it's kind of nice. As someone that's not.
Yeah, as you know, like a weekly show, having to book a weekly show every week and promoting, and like the anxiety of wondering or not people are going to be there, like.
Or like, I'm trying to remember what he said. It was David that was just like, I hate that that you're making me be your what was the wording on it? It was so good. It was like you're like in charge of your emotions or whatever. It's like, I'm sorry that you think that you're better than this person or whatever. It's like, either you're not getting booking the right people or whatever. It's like, oh, you're not booking me, or you book them, and it's like, oh, you're not putting me in the right place in the lineup or whatever. And you're just like, I don't know. I just needed somebody, and you were the first to get back. I don't know. Like, there's just like so many factors that are not. I'm not trying to get you, but everybody thinks they are.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to not be doing that anymore.
Yeah, for real.
That aspect, but it's so cool to like give those opportunities to people, and when you're on a showcase like that.
Yeah, it felt really good. And it feels special that people felt special to be on it. So
that's a really good one. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
that. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right.
I loved it. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So where can people find you, and maybe like find this clip, or if they want to watch the whole thing in its entirety?
Yeah, this whole clip is on YouTube. My channel is just Rachelle Cochran. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And then find me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, at it's Rachelle Cochran. And then, you know, I am actually going to be joining Delaney Malone as a co-host for
Heck
Crush
yeah.
Bar for the foreseeable future, at least for the rest of the year. So
For the
I'm excited about that.
Roy G. Biv.
Roy G. Biv,
monthly
baby.
show. It's a fun show. It's really
Yeah.
good. All right. Make sure and follow her and everything. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Share this with a friend if you think that there's some good advice or something that someone needs to hear. I don't know. Thanks for watching.
Heck yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.